What drives a person to commit a crime only to vanish without a trace? In today's video, we'll explore 10 chilling crimes that remain unexplained and unsolved, leaving us haunted by the questions they raise. Let's dive into one of the most mysterious cases of the 20th century, the Somerton Man. On December 1st, 1948, a man's body was discovered slumped against a wall on Somerton Beach near Adelaide, Australia. He wore a suit and polished shoes, looking like any ordinary person. However, there was something chilling. No one knew who he was, he had no ID, and when investigators searched his things, they found a tiny piece of paper in a hidden pocket. It said Tamám Shud, a Persian phrase meaning "it's finished." This led them to a rare book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, from which that note had been torn. Inside the book, they found a strange code made up of letters that nobody's been able to decode. Who was this man? Some think he may have been a spy, especially with the Cold War tensions at the time. Over 70 years have passed, and modern forensic science has brought new clues, like a recent DNA match, suggesting that he could be Carl Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne. But the mystery is still unsolved. Could the strange code reveal his identity, or is it just another dead end in this puzzling case? The questions keep piling up, and with each discovery, the story only grows more complex. Equally bizarre is the unsettling case of the Jameson family. In October 2009, Bobby Sherilyn and their 6-year-old daughter Madison vanished in the remote wilderness of Oklahoma. Their abandoned truck was found miles from any main road, filled with their wallets, cell phones, and a shocking $32,000 in cash. Even more disturbing, their dog was locked inside, clearly starving and distressed after days without food or water. Before they disappeared, security footage from their home showed the family moving in a trance-like state as they loaded the truck, almost as if they were hypnotized. To make things even creepier, Sherilyn had packed a briefcase that was never found. 4 years later, the skeletal remains were discovered about 3 miles from where the truck had been left, but no cause of death could be determined. What could have led the Jamesons to that remote spot? Was it a planned trip, or were they in danger? Some theories suggest drugs might be involved, while others hint at an occult connection, because of the family's odd behaviour and Sherilyn's interest in spirituality. Will we ever know the full story behind this strange disappearance? With no solid evidence, this case remains a confusing puzzle, with each possibility stranger than the last. Now let's travel to Germany for one of the most brutal unsolved crimes, the Hinterkaifeck murders of 1922. Andreas Gruber, the family's head, reported strange things happening before the murders: footsteps in the attic, mysterious newspapers showing up, and missing keys. But no one took it seriously until it was too late. On the night of March 31st, someone lured 4 family members into the barn and brutally killed them with a mattock. Then the killer went into the house and murdered the last 2. What's even more unsettling is that the murderer stayed in the house for days afterwards. How could someone get away with such a heinous act? It's a mystery that still haunts people today. Was it the act of a disturbed person, or was there a darker motive? Despite years of investigations and many suspects, no one has ever been charged, and this case remains one of Germany's most haunting mysteries. Art theft might not sound as chilling as murder, but the Gardner Museum heist in Boston is a baffling crime that's captured everyone's attention. In the early hours of March 18, 1990, 2 men dressed as police officers tricked the security guards into letting them into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Once inside, they handcuffed the guards and stole 13 priceless pieces of art. The total value of the stolen art was over $500 million. Despite the size of the height, the thieves left no major clues behind, and none of the artwork has ever been recovered. How could such a famous crime go unsolved for over 30 years? Some people think the art was destroyed, while others believe it's hidden in private collections, perhaps never to be seen again. Let's move to a chilling unsolved murder linked to the occult. In 1972, Jeanette De Palma, a 16-year-old girl from New Jersey, was found dead in a cliff known as the Devil's Teeth, 6 weeks after she went missing. Her body was surrounded by strange symbols and crosses made of sticks, leading to speculation that she was a victim of a satanic ritual. But the details of her death are unclear, and much of the evidence has been lost or poorly documented. The exact cause of her death was never determined. While some suspect foul play, others think it may have been an accident. Was Jeanette De Palma killed in a ritual? Despite numerous theories and investigations, the mystery surrounding her life and demise only deepens with time, leaving more questions than answers. The truth is still unclear, leaving the case open to different interpretations and theories. An equally strange case happened in Stockholm in 1932, known as the Atlas Vampire Murder. The victim, Lily Lundström, was a sex worker found dead in her apartment. While she died from blunt force trauma, investigators were shocked to find that she'd been drained of blood. A gravy ladle was discovered nearby, suggesting the killer may have drank her blood. This bizarre detail, combined with the fact that no suspects were ever identified, has made this one of Sweden's most infamous unsolved crimes. What really happened that night? Was it the work of a psychopathic killer, or is there another explanation? Decades later, the mystery still remains. Another puzzling case is that of Artemis Ogletree, known as the Room 1046 mystery. In January 1935, a man checked into the President Hotel in Kansas City under the name Roland T. Owen. He was later found in his hotel room, beaten and tied up. He died shortly after being discovered, but not before telling police that his attacker was someone named Don. However, no one by that name was ever found, and his real identity was revealed years later as Artemis Ogletree. What made this case even stranger is that after his death, Ogletree's mother started receiving letters that appeared to be from him. Could this mysterious Don have been behind the letters and the murder? The true motive and identity of the killer remain a mystery, and they might never be fully unravelled. Now we travel to Norway, where in 1970 the burnt body of a woman was found in the Isdalen Valley, known as the Isdal Woman case. This case is one of Norway's greatest unsolved mysteries. The woman had no identification, and all of her belongings had their labels removed. During the investigation, authorities learned that she had travelled through Europe using several aliases and fake passports. Could she have been a Cold War spy? If so, was she killed by enemies trying to silence her, or was her death part of a darker conspiracy? To this day, her true identity and the details of her death remain unknown, leaving many to speculate. In 1996, a murder in Boulder, Colorado became one of the most heartbreaking unsolved crimes in American history. John Bennett Ramsey, a 6-year-old beauty pageant contestant, was found dead in a family's home the day after Christmas. A ransom note demanding $118,000, an amount suspiciously close to her father's recent bonus, was found in the house. Despite initial suspicions about the family, no one has ever been charged with John Bennett's murder. The mishandling of the crime scene, the mysterious ransom note, and the media frenzy surrounding the case have only added to the confusion. Was John Bennett killed by an intruder, or was the crime committed by someone close to her? The case remains open, but clear answers are still missing. Finally, we come to the heartbreaking case of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve in 1945, their family home in West Virginia burnt down, and 5 of the 10 Sodder children vanished. Authorities said that they died in the fire, but no remains were ever found. Adding to the mystery, there were strange events before the fire, like threatening phone calls, a mysterious visitor, and odd issues with the family's phone lines. Years later, the Sodder family received a photo of a young man they thought could be one of their missing sons, but that lead went nowhere. Did the children die in the fire, or were they kidnapped? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving many questions unanswered. Each of these unsolved cases presents a mystery that may never be fully solved. Although fresh information and technological developments might eventually bring these mysteries to a close, they might be covered in mystery for some time to come. These 10 unexplained and unsolved crimes remind us of the mysteries that still linger in our world, leaving us to consider the unanswered questions and the stories behind them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll see you guys next time.